Welcome to the Mullin' It Over podcast with Reverend Jack Mullins and Austin Covey.
But some of the key elements that you will find within the tradition are the ideas of openness, starting with open membership.
Mm-hmm.
What that means is, regardless of what kind of church you came from, and regardless of how you were baptized, whether you were sprinkled, poured, or dunked, you're welcome. And most of our churches do not require an individual to be rebaptized. If the individual feels that their baptism was spiritually significant and meaningful, that's an issue between them and God. And if you want to be, you may be. I had a gentleman come to me in a church who had been raised Roman Catholic. Interestingly enough, his father was many generations Roman Catholic. His mother was Quaker.
Interesting.
And he joined our church and said, "I'd like to be immersed."
I bet that was an interesting home life. Sorry, I'm still thinking about that. I'm like, wow, that's a...
And I said, okay, let's talk about that. You understand we in no way ask that of you. He said, no, I understand. This is something that I would like to experience. I said, then that's, like I said, between you and God. And I will certainly be honored to share in that moment with you. Our practice is baptism by immersion, believer's baptism, when a child is old enough to understand what they are saying. When you say, "I believe," what do you mean? Like the little girl I referred to in another episode. What does it mean? Well, it means to save us from big spanking. It's an act of salvation. If you were baptized in one of these other forms, then that's fine. If you come to us for baptism, this is the way we do it. We don't baptize infants. We typically don't baptize young children, but we look for the age of accountability, which, interestingly enough, more or less conforms to or correlates to the age of bar mitzvah.
I was thinking, I wondered if that's where you were going to go with that, yeah.
12, 13. That transitional time between childhood and adolescence.
I saw this on, I don't know, maybe Facebook the other day, but it does, and just some guy, there was a video of a guy getting baptized, and it does, maybe interest me is not the right word, but it's always frightening and entertaining to read the comments. And the number of people, the guy got immersed, but anyway, it's like the number of people that's like, well, if he hadn't done it, his baptism wouldn't have been valid, or, it's like God checks your baptism card at the door to make sure you get in or something. It's just, what do you even mean by the baptism wouldn't have been valid? Like, what? I don't know. There's just so much. I see comments like that. I'm like, there's so much to unpack to that. What do you mean the baptism wouldn't have been valid, and what? I don't know.
From our tradition, and I think part of what makes it a challenge is, for us, the act of baptism does not confer salvation in and of itself. It is a symbol of unity, of obedience, of emulating the example set for us by Jesus Christ. For some traditions, if you are not baptized before you die, your salvation is in question, because the act of baptism confers some idea of salvation.
We don't tend to ascribe to acts conveying.
No.
Outside of belief. I mean, I guess you could consider belief to be an action.
Yeah.
Belief in Jesus is kind of the thing we would chalk up to, but
yeah. Thank you for joining us today for this episode of Mulling It Over. I hope that you found something meaningful and beneficial to take with you.
If you have any questions or topics you would like to hear us discuss, you can either put them down in the video comments or you can email them to us at office@irvingnorthcc.org.
As always, we want to invite you to join us for worship every Sunday morning, 11 o'clock a.m. at Irving North Christian Church, 2602 Texas Drive, Irving, Texas. May God bless.